What happened to you?
I was in a car accident when I was 9 years old.
And we've talked to your mom, and we understand that you had surgery. They drove you fast to Madison. You were in the hospital for 36 days. We assume you don't remember anything that happened after the moment of the accident until sometime well after that. Do you remember anything before? What is it that you remember before the accident in terms of the day of, the week before? Do you remember any of the few days before the accident?
No, but I remember something like 3 years before the accident.
Okay. You were doing something with beagles that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember having ever going to beagle shows, or what was it that you were doing with the beagles?
Beagle trial.
Is that like you were showing them to get them finished?
No.
What would
put them in a pen and they run around after rabbits.
Oh, so they actually do something. They don't just look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember going to the beagle trial that weekend?
No.
Do you remember the Christmas when you were 9 years old?
No.
Did you not remember it because nobody's asked you about it before, or do you think you've lost that memory?
I think I've just lost it. I can't remember what happened when I was 16 years old.
Okay. Do you remember anything that happened in 4th grade?
I wasn't in 4th grade.
What grade were you in?
Well, I was in 4th grade, but I didn't get to take the class because I was in the hospital the majority of the time.
Okay. Well, you were in 4th grade from September until February 1st, correct?
Yes.
Right. Do you remember any part of 4th grade before your accident?
Nope.
Do you remember who your 4th grade teacher was?
Mrs. Geiger.
And how do you know that? Do you remember actually being in class with her?
No, but I remember Mrs. Cachan taught us how to speak a little French. It didn't work very well. She didn't even teach us any.
So why does that mean you know who your 4th grade teacher was?
Well, I visited her with my mom and gave her a senior picture.
And she remembers when you had your accident?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't remember being in the hospital in Madison?
No.
Now, you had to go back to the hospital in Madison in the summer of 2003 for another surgery. What was that surgery for?
I have no idea. It was probably to clear something up with my brain.
Did they go in and put some pieces in your skull?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember having that surgery?
No.
Do you remember coming home from the hospital when you had that surgery?
No.
Do you have any recollections of having problems with your vision?
Yes. I used to have blurry vision in my left eye because I have scarring on the cornea.
Okay. Well, tell me about what you remember about your vision problems.
It was blurry.
How long was that? How long ago was that? Something fairly recent or years ago?
When I was 11, 12, 13, when I was 10, it was sewn shut because my head was so swollen I couldn't shut my left eye, and it could have come out of my head.
Is your birthday on Valentine's Day?
No.
What day is it?
The 12th.
The 12th.
2 days before. Almost a Valentine's baby.
And you were in the hospital on your 10th birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember your 11th birthday?
No.
That would have been a whole year later.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your 5th grade teacher?
Mr. Dietz.
Do you remember going back to school the first day?
No.
So you were off school all of 4th grade
Mm-hmm.
after your accident.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have had your surgery during the summer. But you don't remember going back to Madison for the surgery.
I remember having a tutor come to my house and teach me some stuff.
So that would have been before you went back to school then?
Yes.
All right. What do you remember about the tutor?
She was really nice. Like on St. Patrick's Day, she left me a little present on my doorknob full of candy and stuff like that.
Okay. So that would, okay, that sounds interesting, but what's St. Patrick's Day?
A long time ago.
Were you still having a tutor after you started 5th and 6th grades?
No.
What your mother told us is you had a tutor to help you finish 4th grade.
Yeah.
Right. Did you have her in 5th grade?
No.
Did she come back to your house after she wasn't your tutor anymore and bring you presents? Well, St. Patrick's Day would be 6 weeks after your accident. And you wouldn't have met your tutor yet on St. Patrick's Day of 2003, would you?
No, this was like 2004.
Right. So it would have been after she was coming to your house on a regular basis to tutor, she came back and left you some things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember her tutoring you at all?
I remember we were reading a book about a Russian girl that couldn't go to America because she had worms, I think it was.
You went to a different school in 6th grade?
Mm-hmm.
That would have been middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And the grade school that you were in was combined with a couple of other grade schools, so there were more kids when you went to middle school? What do you remember of starting middle school?
I didn't like my special ed teacher. He was really mean.
Why do you say that?
He made me cry. He called me a crybaby and a 2-year-old.
Would that have been right at the beginning of the school year? Or?
That would have been at the end of 6th grade. Mr. Jakes was a jerk.
And you had him through the entire 6th grade year?
Yes.
When you went to the new school, that's a pretty big event. You're going from the grade school off to middle school. Do you remember that? Do you remember the first day of middle school?
No.
All the new kids?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember starting high school?
Yes.
Tell me about starting high school.
Well, it wasn't really much different from the middle school since it was like just next door. But they had recently built a new building. And I was the first year of kids that got to go into the new building.
So you got to walk into a brand new school?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Really, 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 really big. I've never been in a school with more than one floor.
Did that cause you any anxiety or concern?
No.
What